Good morning. We are here doing another Raiders 7-round mock draft, but this isn't just any old Raiders 7-round mock draft. In fact, I am ready to say that this is the perfect Raiders 7-round mock draft because the thing about the Las Vegas Raiders is trading for Davante Adams helped this team a lot, but now you find yourself in the third round where I think arguably you need a starting right tackle, but don't fear. I think there's some solutions that are here. And yes, I did mean to rhyme that. And yes, we have our cup of Joe this morning. Once again, let us know what you guys are drinking this morning because you got to have your cup of Joe to start off the morning. So, all right, 7-round mock draft. Here's what I've started doing. I've started doing the default settings because that when I try to mess with the settings, it makes it worse. So, and when I don't mess with the default settings, it seems a lot more realistic. It kind of hurts to be finding this out now, but it is what it is at this point. So, not going to mess with the default settings. 7 rounds, going fast here. Don't really want to take a whole lot of time. But I feel like, the Raiders, with a lot of things they're going to want to do, the players they're going to want to get, a lot of them are going to fall to them. So, I'm really excited about that. So, we're just going to go ahead and start the draft here. All right. In the meantime, as we're waiting, I really don't think it's worth trading up at this point. Like you're gonna have 4 picks in the draft if you trade up, maybe 3. So yeah, I don't think it's worth trading up in the third round. There's not a ton of tackle players that could start. I would argue I would not start any of them, but there's some good news with that. I think the Raiders right now have a player or a couple of players that they could start. Now, if you want to move the other one back out to guard, or you want to, I believe his name is Illuminar. I never get their names right. But the guy that I think he came over from the Colts last year. I can't. Hold on. Let me just. I want to try to pronounce it. We're going to try to do this. Pronounce his name right, because I had felt like, I've got a lot of people in my comment section talking about him, and I did a little bit of tape study on him. Jermaine Illuminor-ish. Okay, sure. So I feel like maybe, he could be a guy that comes in and starts right away. And the thing is, he doesn't have to be a Pro Bowler. I think if you, with this team especially, what you've seen with Davante Adams, with Josh McDaniels, he's got a natural way of just making his quarterbacks have time, whether it's, having offensive line play. And plus, I think from the development side of things, I think they can get a lot more out of this team than a lot of other teams, because I think we've seen it from McDaniel, Ziegler, who are all former Patriots. I think right now they probably arguably have the starters on their offensive line. Like you don't need to go out and get or trade up and try to get Trevor Penning, because I think with what you have right now, you could go out and get, or you could stay where you're at and still be a very good football team. So in the third round here, the thing about Kellen Dyche is I feel like he's the best option for the Raiders in the third round. Here's the thing. He reminds me a lot of Brian O'Neill for the Vikings, now a Pro Bowler, now an All-Pro, got All-Pro votes last year as a right tackle. My thing about this pick is you can't expect Kellen Dyche to come in, or Dyche, I never get these names right. You can't expect him to come in and start right away. You just can't. He's a guy that if you watch him, he is very athletic. I would argue that he could add 20 to 30 pounds and probably be just fine, still be one of the more athletic specimens on the field. The problem, however, is strength. I think that he needs to take a year off to where, even though he did have another solid year at Arizona State, I feel like he's a guy that needs to add a little bit of strength. But again, the same thing was said about Brian O'Neill for the Vikings back, whatever it was, 5-6 years ago. So he could absolutely come in and be a stud right out of the gate. He has that potential to start right away. He does. But I would like to see, from a comfort level, from a, bringing rookies along and developing level, I say you come in and start him at right tackle, and about a year from now, let Illuminor, again, I know that's not his name, come in and start, or whoever, and just be serviceable. Hold down the fort for a year. Put 20 to 30 pounds. Like I think it was when I was in college, our coach called it, if it's not nailed down, you should be eating it. Like that should be Kellen Dyche's diet, going with the Raiders. And I think that would be a really good thing here, because you can't coach speed. You can't coach athleticism. You're born with it, fast twitch, all that science stuff. Yeah. But the thing about it is, the one thing you can add in the NFL, and the one thing that players do You'll see a lot of guys who are getting after it in the weight room to add strength pretty easily. So I think Kellen Dyche is a guy. Give him a year, put 20 to 30 pounds on him. Watch him come back and be a Pro Bowler for many years to come. So we're going to stop talking and get to drafting because I feel like Kellen Dyche, I think I've made my case for him there following in the third round. So, I've heard things like, Rashad Walker and Max Mitchell. But I think Kellen Dyche, here's the thing about Kellen Dyche, one more thing, and then we'll get back to it. His ceiling is a quality starting Pro Bowl right tackle. His floor is a utility backup right tackle, which in the third round, you could do worse. Trust me. You could do a lot worse. So at the very least, you've got a guy that can come in and start at right tackle, be serviceable, and not just get mowed over. I think he could be, a lot better than people think. Okay, so now we are here in the fourth round, and there's only one player that I think that needs to be even thought about in this particular scenario. Now, the thing about it is the Raiders are in a position where I feel like, when you get into the fourth round, there's only a couple defensive linemen that I really like, and the one I really feel like that screams being a Raider is Noah Ellis. Now, I think Noah Ellis is the guy here. I don't think there's even a debate here. You go Kellen Dyche, Noah Ellis. He's a guy that literally his job is going to be to stand in the middle of the defense and just take up double teams, be disruptive. He's not going to be a 10 sack a year guy, but that's not what he's paid for. That's that's by a little Nichols' job. That's Vickers. That's all those other guys that are going to be able to have one-on-one matchups with a guard or a center, most likely the guard, and honestly, just go make plays. And Noah Ellis is going to be that guy in the middle, the man in the middle eating it up, and you absolutely love it. I love him. I think, in the fourth round here, I still think that's good value, especially we have seen it these last couple of years, that defensive tackles that can be disruptive, guys like Dalvin Tomlinson, he's more on the 3-tech side, but, even guys like Michael Pierce for the Vikings, a lot of value. Guys get a lot of money in free agency. You get a guy right here, Noah Ellis, that I believe can be your guy for you for a long time. Love it. Love it. I know people are going to be like, oh, you get him in the 5th and 6th round. If you can get him in the 4th and he's worth it, take him. Take him. Okay. Let's see. 164 here. Velus Jones Jr. went. Oh, DeMarco Jackson went to the Eagles in the 5th round. Okay, that's how it goes. That is just how it goes. My other thing is this. I know Josh Jacobs is in the final year of his rookie contract. Who do they have? Who else is left at wide receiver? Is Tyquan Thornton still there? Because he's just been. Oh, Josh Johnson's there. I know the Raiders are doing pretty okay at wide receiver, but Kevin Austin or Josh Johnson would really look good. You know what? No, 227. I mean, you've got back-to-back picks here, so I don't necessarily think you can go wrong. I really like Josh Johnson. I think, adding a wide receiver this late in the draft in the 5th round, I think it could do him a lot of good. I think, you've got guys on your team like Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow, the most dangerous wide receiver duo in the entire NFL. But Josh Johnson, I mean, if you add him, with Brian Edwards and all of them, I think at the very least he's there for a year. But who else do you got? That's the question. Micah McFadden, I can't believe I looked past him. If Micah McFadden falls to the 5th, I think it would be really hard to pass up. I had a higher grade on him than I did DeMarco Jackson. So, yeah, we'll go Micah McFadden there. So you got linebacker. Anybody there left at corner that I really like? Let's see. Wattenberg's there. Revis is there. I think I go Luke Wattenberg here. I've been standing on the table for Luke Wattenberg the entire offseason. I know people are going to be like, yeah, you're doubling down on offensive line. Listen, the entire Raiders offensive line, like there's a guy, you've got guys at, both guard spots, Leatherwood and all them. If one of them goes down with injury, I'm a little worried. Like I'm not shaking, but I do question the depth a little bit to a degree. Luke Wattenberg, I think, would immediately solve that, and I don't even think it's even a debate. A guy that can play center, guard, doesn't matter. Plug him in and watch this man, what he could do. Man, I love Luke Wattenberg. A guy, honestly, I think he could battle for a starting spot. Look what we saw with the Chiefs last year. I know the Chiefs, but Creed Humphrey came in the third round. You had Trey Smith come in the sixth. You don't need to go and get a tackle. I'm going to say this. You guys are going to get really tired of me and say this. You don't need to go and get a starting offensive lineman in the first, second, or third rounds. You can still get him in the sixth, or fifth, or sixth, or seventh. And Luke Wattenberg is that guy. Seventh round here, last pick here. C.J. Wright's there. Logan Bruss. Trey Turner's there. You guys want to triple down on offensive line? No, I'm just kidding. Kennedy Brooks. Jacoby Durant's there. I like me some Jacoby Durant, though. Let's see. C.J. Verdell. Max Borghe's there. Do we take a running back just for giggles? Because, I mean, Josh Jacobs is in the final year of his rookie contract. And I know you got Barber and all them on the squad, but, I mean, it would be interesting. I mean, from a depth perspective, I think it wouldn't hurt. I know you also got, who is it that got over from the Vikings? I can't remember off the top of my head. Played for Nebraska. I'm sorry. I barely had my coffee this morning. I can see his face in my head. Amir Abdullah. Okay, yeah, thank you. I couldn't think of it to this morning. Okay, you know what? You're kind of stacked at running back. You're fine. Okay, in that case, who is there to finish out this draft? Kennedy Brooks. I love Kennedy Brooks. I know you don't need running back, but I love Kennedy Brooks. Did I mention I love Kennedy Brooks? Yeah, I think Duran he's got the best and most value for you there. Again, a floor guy that probably coming in and start on special teams for you. I feel like, the Raiders are in a spot where, they don't really have a lot of other needs than tackle, corner, and defensive tackle. So I feel like those are kind of the main three things you got to work on here. PFF, I'm never going to buy that. Okay. Let's see here. So your 5 picks here. Kellen Dyche, like I said, a guy. This guy, I don't know why PFF, because PFF, if you get him in the 4th round, or excuse me, you get him like a couple picks later, this pick is an A. I've seen, so whatever. But overall, Kellen Dyche, could you trade down here and probably get Dyche? Probably, but I don't want to chance it. He's a talented player, and I don't think it's worth trying to get value here. I think he's a guy that you can take in the 3rd round and be comfortable putting him on the bench for a year or giving him a redshirt year and then watch him come back and be a Pro Bowler. I'm absolutely ready for it. The 4th round, Noah Ellis here. Listen, I know you probably could get Noah Ellis later in the 4th or even in the 5th or 6th, but he's a guy that we have seen it. Again, we have seen guys value that come into the middle of the field, come into the middle of that defensive front and just take up double teams, and their value is unprecedented. And I think that's Noah Ellis. That just screams Noah Ellis to me. And I feel like he's going to be a guy that just stands there, makes plays, and lets the rest of the defense do their thing. I love it. He just screams being a Raider to me. Mike Mcfadden here. 5th round, he's a quality linebacker, especially one that falls to the 5th round. I think that's a really good pick here, and I'm really excited to see what he does. I think he could be a starter down the line. I really do, because there's a lot of quality talent in this draft, and Mike McFadden's one of those players. 5th round, Luke Wattenberg, your next pick. Listen, I don't know why PFS be hating on Luke Wattenberg, but he is a guy that he reminds me a lot of a guy like Creed Humphrey, like in the terms of like later value. I know 3rd round isn't later value, but Luke Wattenberg's that guy. I think you can just plug and play him at a lot of different positions, and I think he's going to be a really good player for a long time. Possibly start. Another player there like McFadden that I think could come in and possibly start. I gotta get my cup of Joe. And then final pick here, Jacoby Duran out of South Carolina State. There's a lot of quality corners in this class, but I think Duran is a guy you could find in the later rounds that at the very least, is a quality depth piece, special teamer guy that comes in. You guys, these guys, at the end of the 7th round, you're probably just honestly trying to find a guy that can come in and bring you a little something. I think Jacoby Durant's your best bet here. But yeah, that is our best case scenario. I think that is the perfect Raiders draft. You've got a potential starter in Noah Ellis right off the bat. You've got a guy in Kellen Dyche that, I think could come in and start in the year and be a Pro Bowl right tackle. I really do. You also got some more linebacker depth, possibly another starter, O-line depth, and finally another, more help at corner. So let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. In the description down below, you find all of our social media platforms. Give us a like and a follow there. Also remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our the perfect Las Vegas Raiders 7-round mock draft.